In this episode, I'm back at VaynerMedia. Hi, I'm Steve, and for as long as I can remember, I wanted to be somebody. I grew up in a small town and went to school in the valley. Now I'm in the big city, working at a fast-paced company, run by a guy you might know. Here I learned that while we all dream of success, what really matters is the journey. This is my story. Hello everyone and welcome to the Ascent episode 9. I'm your host Steve Campbell. I'm back here in lovely New York City in the office of VaynerMedia, just hanging out, just chatting. So today I wanted to talk about something that I picked up this weekend. I found some downtime Saturday night and I started catching up on some YouTube videos, and I was catching up on Gary's Daily V's and his Ask Gary V's. I haven't tuned in a while. I've been busy creating my own stuff. By the way, gee, if you're watching, I love the fact that you take phone calls on your show now. It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. So somebody called in and they asked him, I think it was a DJ of some kind, and he was asking Gary, like, how do I go about getting on tour, like with my music? And Gary's simple advice to him was, it's real easy. You put out music every day, and you know, eventually something's gonna pop that you put out, and you're gonna reach the right person and the right people, and then you know people are gonna approach you eventually about going on tour and booking gigs and things like that. And I think he makes a good point, and you know, I'm sort of trying to use it to call myself out a little bit, which is, if I really want to achieve great things, and if you really want to achieve great things, you know, you can't just talk about what you want to do or what you want to see happen or what the future might hold for you if you're not actually putting in the work and putting out that effort. So, you know, if you're leaving the office at 6 p.m. and you're not where you want to be, that's one thing. If you're leaving the office at 9 p.m. like it is right now, and you're not achieving something, then, you know, you're probably closer than the person that leaves at 6 p.m. is, but you know, you're still not going to get there. There's always more you can do. The question is, are you doing as much as you can in the time that you have? And so that's something that I've always really known inherently, and I think about a lot, but I think it was really important to have that little reminder in watching his video of, you know, he gave the advice, and I love this line of start at the moon and work your way backwards. So for that gentleman who's trying to build his music career, you know, the answer is, can you put out music every single day in a place that people are gonna find it? You know, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever. And if you can't do it every day for a year, like do it for 360 days, I think he said. And you know, if you can't do it then, what about 290? Like, you should be putting out as much stuff as you can, as often as you can. And it's something I talked about back in episode 5 when I was talking about the importance of having quality content and quantity content. And you know, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. It's gonna be a lot of extra work. You know, I'm just still learning to do some of these things. Like, I've been getting comments from my boy Dave Zhang about how my sound editing isn't very good, and my response was, that's not important to me right now. Like, I'll learn it along the way, I'm sure, but you know, it's good enough that people are watching and giving good feedback. So that he, you know, I think he just wanted to razz me a little bit, but you know, I'm gonna learn these things, and these are gonna get better inherently the more that I do them. And if I do them every single day, that's gonna happen faster. My point is, sure, it's gonna cost me a lot of time and effort and energy, but if it's something that I really want to achieve, which is something that I really do, the more I think about it, it's worth it. It's really powerful advice. And I think that when you start taking advice like that and you start applying it to other areas of your life, I think that's when you realize like the implications of it, and you start to get in a certain mindset of, oh, I need to just start doing. Formulate a plan in my mind, adjust on the fly, but mainly just do. Like, the more you do and the more you put out there every single day, you know, if you're putting out one thing a week, it's easy to look at it and say, well, that should have been better for XYZ reason. But if you're doing something every single day, you're gonna iterate on top of that process, and you're gonna get better and better, faster and faster. You end up caring less about, like I said, it's a balance. It's quantity and quality. So, you know, in trying to stretch quantity as far as you can, quality might suffer a little bit. Like, you are strapped for time, you're trying to edit things on the fly, you're trying to do things every single day, you might not have as rich material every day. Like, you're gonna suffer on quality a little bit. But I think if you can find that proper balance where you're pulling and you have tension from both sides equally, that's when you really hit a sweet spot. And you know, you'll find that cadence by doing. So that's a big lesson that I learned today that I wanted to pass along to you is, you know, shoot for the moon and then see what happens.